All right, if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. And now to our first main conversation for today. The 2024 governorship race in Ondo State took its first victim on Saturday following the assassination of a campaign coordinator for Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. According to his elder brother Samuel, Alaba Abe was killed in front of his house on Saturday night around 9 p.m. and shortly after returning home in Akoko, a southwest local government area. The deceased was a ward coordinator for Lucky Aiyedatiwa's campaign organization, Food Soldiers. He was the returning officer for the party primaries at his ward 10 in the council. Some aspirants have contested the outcome of the primaries despite the intervention of the party leadership to assuage them. Meanwhile, the Lucky Aiyedatiwa campaign organization Food Soldiers have condemned the gruesome murder of its member, urging police authorities to protect its members from such attacks by unknown assailants. Police Public Relations Officer in Ondo State, Fumilayo Odunlami Omusoyo, confirmed the incident and said an investigation was already underway. Today in the studios with us this morning to discuss this and more is Emeka Madunago. He is a public affairs analyst and also a broadcaster. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to Enterprise Morning today.
Yeah, glad to be here.
All right, so let's talk about the issue happening in Ondo State. But before going into that, I'd love to read out some comments from the People's Democratic Party on the election, on the primaries of the APC that happened there. It says, the People's Democratic Party in Ondo State has mocked the ruling All Progressive Congress APC in the state, that is Ondo State, over the conduct of their governorship primaries. It described the governorship primary election as a huge charade and a mockery of democracy in every sense of the word. Now, that happened just shortly after the primaries in Ondo State, and today we have one of the coordinator of the APC killed in the course of that. Is this new?
Well, thank you very much. It's really unfortunate. It's not new. Nigerian politics, there have been incidents of, violence, thuggery, killings, destruction of election materials. There had been a build-up to this assassination. Looking at the primaries where thugs attacked some of the aspirants, snatched ballot boxes, destroyed election materials, destroyed campaign billboards. And excuse me, wonder why the desperation. Some people accuse the governor of orchestrating the violence, but people are wondering that based on the law, that if an incumbent dies and his running mate secures a ticket to run an election and wins, that he cannot spend more than just one term. So people are wondering that.
That's what the law says.
Yes, that's what the law says. That if allegations that the governor is the one orchestrating this violence are true, then why? And he just one term to go. What is the desperation? But well, all those are allegations, the accusations, because now one of the governor's people has been killed. So you find out that during the primaries, some areas were deprived of voting materials. So you just wonder why people would take their desperation to such despicable levels.
When you say people taking their desperation, who are we referring to?
The people behind the violence, the desperate position behind the violence.
That's opponents, that rivalries, isn't it?
Well, nobody knows. It could be an factional violence. It could even be people, the police that will unravel what happened. It could even be people within the organization, the supporters of the government, that carried it out. It could be opponents. It could also have been an accidental killing. Maybe based on some other issues. So all in all, I'll urge all the combatants to take it easy, to sheath their swords. Because elections come and elections go. What if we end up with with heavy collateral losses? Who are we going to govern? That is the question I usually ask. If we go about killing people, burning people's properties, destroying election materials, destroying billboards, who are we going to govern? Is the motivation actually about service or about looting the treasury? The answer is blowing in the wind. But this assassination is condemnable. And I send my heartfelt condolences to the family of the deceased.
All right, so let's talk about the transparency of the primaries itself, which I want to believe is the reason why this man was allegedly killed. The question is, if really the primaries was transparent, if it was conducted in a model or in a form that that gives room for free and fair, contesting and all, I don't think, this would have happened. Now, let's get into how it happened in the first place. Ayedatiwa himself is from Ilaje, and coincidentally, in the same local government, there wasn't elections in that place because of Togri and all. So the question is, how popular do you think Ayedatiwa is really, as compared to other opponents?
Well, Ayedatiwa is the sitting governor. Of course, sitting governor has a lot to his advantage. Of course, if you look at the controversial circumstances which heralded him into office, and you know that despite the opposition to his ascension after the unfortunate demise of his boss, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, you know that definitely he has gained some ground. He has been able to appeal to key stakeholders in the state and in the All Progressives Congress, his party, to buy into, to key into his agenda. So the point is that the desperation in our politics is unbecoming. But like I said, we have to wait for the police to tell us what really happened. It may have been something unconnected with politics. Yes, he was a foot soldier of the Ayedatiwa campaign, quite all right. But that wasn't the only thing, around which his life revolved. So I think it needs to be looked into. But if we just want to use that as a test case, then we got to know that, you see, it is quite sad. It is quite sad that we have got to a level where human life means nothing to us. And it's sad. All that must be resisted by all means, by all well-meaning Nigerians. It must be resisted because violence, assassination are not supposed to be part of democracy. They are antithetical to democracy. So, well, the elections are coming up, the election will come up very soon. So the parties will have to go and test their might at the polls. So I think they should eschew violence and let the will of the people prevail.
All right, so talking about letting the will of the people prevail in elections coming up in Ondo State, if we compare or juxtapose what's happening right now in Ondo State, we can see it in other more violent societies, like in Mexico, for example, where politicians are randomly killed, over one or two issues, which is looking similar to what we have today in Nigeria. But let's take a look at the APC, and ask ourselves, knowing that they are the current party in government and, it's in charge of everything and all, why is it now very difficult for the House to put itself together? It should have been a smooth run for the APC as against other parties, but it seemed to me that the center is no longer holding for the party. Do you submit to this fact, if it is?
The thing is that there are different combatants in this, aspirants in this race. And each and every one of them is eminently qualified to run. But the thing is that, yes, it should be APC's, the field should be open for APC to clinch the victory. But the point is, APC is divided across many states in the country, factionalized. Look at even the national chairman of APC, even the party in Kano State is not together. Look how many times they tried to send him on suspension, and he was saved by the court. So the thing is that, APC needs to put his house in order. It cannot be criticizing PDP, criticizing Labour Party, and at the end of the day, his own house is not in order. So the APC needs to work on it. He needs to work on his ranks because things are not the same.
So with the way things are going, do you possibly see an abrupt demise of the APC going forward in Ondo State or possibly in Nigeria, like we had it with the PDP? Sometimes then they say they were going to rule for 60 years. Unfortunately, it didn't work that way. Do you still see the same thing happening with the APC, possibly, especially with what is happening in Ondo State today?
Well, no. I don't want to think in such extreme manners. In such an extreme manner that the APC will just go because of the violence. No. What I just want to say is that politicians, whether they're in APC or PDP or whatever, should learn to eschew violence. They should learn to build bridges, work together. Because the ticket belongs to the party, according to the Supreme Court. So what are they fighting for? The ticket does not belong to any individual. It belongs to the party. So the people have to work together in the interest of the party. Yes.
Now, in the last couple of months, Ayedatiwa took over. What if you take a look at his scorecard? Do you think his scorecard is good enough to give him the needed votes for the election?
Well, the scorecard, they have just entered now. So, but so far, so good. Even while the governor was on medical leave, Ayedatiwa stood in for him without any incident. It's just that politicians in the states and politicians were just bent on rocking the boat. Otherwise, I believe the elections will go smoothly. I think in September. Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's just about the time we have for this segment. We'd love to say thank you to Emeka Madunago for being part of our show. In the jiffy, we'll be going to another segment of our main conversation. But when we return, petrol scarcity worsens across Nigeria. In a bit, please don't go anywhere.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.